I shall begin with a rather tricky pronunciation of the name. When I started reading him for the first time as an undergraduate student, I pronounced the name as Ferdinand de Saussure. In fact, I was so sure about the pronunciation of the name as Saussure. But now I realize that there is a better way, a more French way of pronouncing the name. Ferdinand de Saussure. Ferdinand de Saussure. The D is silent in French, especially in Swiss French, and he came from a French speaking region of Switzerland. I think this is a better, more French way of pronouncing the name. Ferdinand de Saussure published very little in his own lifetime. His most important work is Course in General Linguistics. The book was published in 1916 after his death by his students, based on the notes on the lectures that Ferdinand de Saussure had given at the University of Geneva. This book is looked upon as the starting point of structural linguistics. The signifier is that which signifies. It is the physical form of the sign. The signifier can be a word, it can be an image, it can be a sound. Let us take the word cat. It is a signifier. It stands for the animal cat. Let us take the image of two bones and a skull. It is a signifier. It stands for danger, the concept of danger. Let us take the sound of the air raid siren during wartime. It is a signifier. It tells you that you have to get into the bunker. You have to get into the air raid shelter. I've already said that the signifier is that which signifies. What is signified is the signified. The word cat is a signifier. It signifies the animal cat. That is the signified. The signifier and the signified. The moment you meet with the signifier, you meet with the word cat, you think of the animal cat. The signifier represents the signified. The signified is that which is signified by the signifier. I told you of two bones crossing each other and a skull. It's a signifier. It signifies danger. The signified in this case is danger. The moment you see the image of two bones and a skull, you think of danger. Signified is that which is signified by the signifier. Similarly, you hear the air raid siren. It's wartime. That is the signifier. It tells you that you have to get into the bunker. You have to get into the air raid shelter. That is the message, that you should get into the bunker, that you should get into the air raid shelter, is the signified. There is a reciprocal relationship between the signifier and the signified. The process by which the signifier and the signified interact with each other is called signification. The signifier and the signified together create the sign. There is absolutely no logic in the relationship between the signifier and the signified. A particular signifier gets attached to a particular signified out of convention. We always say that it's not possible to break this relationship between signifier and signified because it has been established by convention lasting centuries. However, the fact remains that if the speakers of a language decide that this relationship has to be broken and that the signifier has to be attached to some other signified, it can very well be done. To give a concrete example, if the speakers of English decide that from today onwards, a dog should not be called a dog, but should be called a cat, and a cat should not be called a cat, but should be called a dog, well, a cat will be known as a dog, and a dog will be known as a cat. This is because the relationship between the signifier and the signified is not a natural relationship. It is wholly an artificial relationship, an arbitrary relationship, decided solely by convention. And hence, convention can very well change it. There are several ways to represent the complex relationship between signifier, signified, and sign through a diagram. But perhaps the best diagrammatic representation of the same would be signifier is that which signifies. You utter the word dog, that is the signifier, and immediately the thought of the animal dog comes to your mind. The animal dog is the signified. Together, the signifier and the signified form the sign. I have put a line between signifier and signified. The line stands for convention. It is the linguistic convention of the speakers of the language that binds the signifier and the signified together.